Hello my friends, I have another recipe for you. This one is a favorite. I actually made it with my class last year and Logan doesn't like it at all, so we're going to start again. Hello my friends, it's Mrs. McDuff. I've got another recipe for you. This one is one of my favorites and it's actually one that I did with my class last year. We were talking in science about the changes between liquids and solids and we were doing procedural writing, so following steps. So both of those things come together in this fantastic muffin recipe. It is from the Food Allergy News cookbook. This was my go-to cookbook when my kids were little because they had allergies to eggs and to milk products. So I needed some good recipes. This one is from in here and I will put it in the, I will make sure that you get it. It's called Cinnamuffins and we're gonna actually double the recipe today. I always make more. They're great in the freezer. You can just pop them in the microwave and heat them up. So a couple things I've already done. I've already preheated my oven and I've already lined my muffin tins with the little paper liners. You can also spray them if you want, just so that the muffins come out really easily. The one thing I really like about these muffins too is you can't really overmix them. Usually with muffins, if you stir them too much, they get a little bit tough. But you don't have to worry about that with these. All right, the other thing is there's no white sugar in them. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start off with some oil. This is just regular canola oil. And because I'm doubling the recipe, I've got half a cup. And I like to use the same cup for my next ingredient, which is molasses. Molasses is really sticky. I need a whole cup. But because I've used my oil in here already, it will come out really easily. A lot of times when you measure molasses, or you measure things that are sticky, honey, molasses, corn syrup, it kind of sticks to the measuring cup. But because I've measured the oil in here already, the oil will help it to come out really nicely. So I do need a full cup. I'll probably need my second container. This is fancy molasses, which sounds really fancy. I think Fancy Nancy would really like this molasses. It's got a milder taste. Some people prefer the darker molasses, the black strap molasses. I don't. I prefer the fancy molasses. All right. Logan is outside and desperate to come in. All right, so watch this. I've got my full cup and look how easily it comes out of the cup. It's like magic. Cooking magic. All right. So my molasses is out. To my oil and molasses, I'm going to add my applesauce. And the applesauce, this is unsweetened applesauce. You don't need sweet applesauce. There's already enough sweetness with just the plain applesauce and the molasses. So here I've got 2 cups again because I'm doubling it. And we're gonna give this a really good stir just to mix those wet ingredients together. It comes together really nicely. And like I said, this one you can't really overmix. All right. Now to this, we're going to add the dry ingredients. And we're actually going to sift them. If you don't have a sifter, you can just put them in a bowl and mix them together with a whisk. So the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of flour. Because I'm doubling it, I need 3 cups. So 1.5, so that's 1. Double 1 is another 1. Remember, when you're measuring, you want to put it into the cup, pour it into the cup, and then just level it off. You don't want to push it down. You'll end up with too much flour. So that's 3 cups. To that, we're going to add our baking soda. Baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking soda, doubled is 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I've got 3 teaspoons of baking powder. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, or Cinnamuffins, of course, I need cinnamon. And 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to take all of that, I'm going to sift it, and I can actually sift it right into my bowl. Some of it already has come out. And this mixes it, it aerates it, adds some air to it. There we go. We're going to give this a really good stir. And once it's all mixed together, we're going to add 1 other piece of sweetness. So like I said, can't really overmix this, just have at her. Then when it's all mixed together, you can add the raisins. So this is a full cup. 1 recipe only takes half a cup. Now I've added carrots to this. I've added a few other spices like ginger and nutmeg. So you can play around with it a little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna pop it into my muffin cups. I think this is a really big scoop. So I'm gonna finish doing this. I'm gonna pop them into the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes, and I will show you how this liquidy batter reacts to the heat. It's time to check the muffins. I'm just going to use a toothpick to see how they're doing. I managed to get 17 muffins. Oh, it's still a little bit gooey. I'm going to give it another minute. One more minute. Here we go. They're ready to come out now. Stop my timer. Look at these beautiful muffins. Got 17 muffins. They're quite big, and we're going to let them cool a little bit, and I'll show you what happened to that liquidy batter. And now it's the best part. We get to enjoy these delicious muffins. Now you'll notice when they went into the pan, it was a liquid. So think about what we added when it went into the oven, and it changed it from a liquid to a solid. And oh, I can even see, you can see the steam coming off. So we've got that liquid from inside the muffin that's also becoming a gas. So all 3 states of matter are included as part of these delicious muffins. The best part. So good. I hope you try them and enjoy science.